Joining us now for more is CBSN Washington reporter Caitlin Huey-Burns. Hi, Caitlin. So Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell says he will oppose the Democrats' proposal to form a bipartisan commission to investigate the January 6th attacks. How significant is this blow to the Democrats' efforts in the Senate?
Hi, Tanya. Well, it's a significant announcement by the minority leader. And up here on Capitol Hill, it seems to be having an impact on lawmakers. I've been talking to Republican senators over the past hour as they've been going in for votes, and a lot of them have kind of commented along the same lines as McConnell. For example, Senator Mike Rounds, who earlier had been suggesting that he was open to supporting this bill, now says that he is inclined to oppose it because of what's coming out from leadership, because of the messaging coming out from leadership that this wouldn't be as bipartisan as they wanted to. And there's also a concern that he says about this dragging out and the longer it would take to hire staff and get everybody the security clearances needed, how long that would drag out. I also spoke to Senator Susan Collins of Maine, who has also been supportive of this bill. She says she is still supportive of it, but wants to see some changes. She says that she's concerned with the hiring of staff and some other measures. So you're starting to feel kind of the momentum around this, at least on the Senate side, kind of deflate a bit after McConnell's comments.
So speaking about the Senate, is this commission then likely to pass the Senate or not? And, could we see any amendments to make it more palatable?
Well, it's a really good question, because heading into today, we were all going to be watching the vote out of the House and the potential for more Republicans to join on to that. And if there is wide bipartisan support for the bill in the House, the question was, well, wouldn't that put pressure on the Republicans here on the Senate side to support this bill? But McConnell's news today indicates that he is in line with McCarthy's sentiments as well. So there could be an opportunity, certainly, for some Republicans, especially those Republicans who supported impeachment of former President Trump earlier this year because of the attack on the Capitol. Those could still be supportive of the bill if it makes it over here to the Senate. But are there 10 members? That's always the key. You need 10 Republicans to support anything in order to get it passed through the Senate, given the Democrats' slim hold on the chamber. That was an open question and remains an even bigger uphill climb as of now.
So, as you said, House Minority Leader McCarthy is expected to vote against a bipartisan commission, saying that the investigation would ultimately become a partisan affair. But partisan investigations haven't necessarily been a problem in the past for the GOP. So why does McCarthy not want this particular commission?
That's right. Viewers may recall the Benghazi committee a few years ago, and that was a partisan exercise. What has happened over the course of the past week is that Republicans, especially on the House side, have been downplaying the January 6th attacks. Remember, just a week ago today, we were talking about Liz Cheney being ousted from House leadership because of her criticisms of the former president and his involvement in encouraging those attacks. Republicans have been solely focused, they say, on winning back the House majority in 2022. In order to do that, they calculate that they need Trump supporters to continue to show up for Republicans. But this does raise the question of what kind of impact this could have on some more competitive districts. Representative Katko, the Republican who joined with Benny Thompson, the Democrat, to establish the parameters of this commission, comes from a district that is a swing district. It voted for Clinton, it voted for Biden, but also supported the Republican. Does that squeeze those kinds of members? And does that disincentivize members from engaging in bipartisan discussions on other legislation if leadership ultimately decides the path forward?
And if, Republican leadership does ultimately decide to pass on this altogether, what is the end game for Republicans here? Do they want, people to forget all about the riot and forget that it happened? And for those Republicans who acknowledge that it did in fact occur, what are you hearing from them, on this issue? Because it certainly occurred and was a shocking event for many Americans who I think would expect Congress to investigate it further.
Absolutely, and I've been asking lawmakers up here, well, is there a sense among the conference that they just want to move on and not dwell on what happened on January 6th, given that they want to be focused on the Biden administration and focused again on the midterm elections next year? And that seems to be the sentiment settling in, that a commission would take a long time, that it would force the spotlight back onto Trump's involvement, back onto Republicans. So there does seem to be this sense of wanting to move beyond this. But as you mentioned, the parameters of this commission, as established by those two congressmen, really gave in to a lot of the Republicans' demands. They gave Republicans veto power over subpoenas, for example. In order to issue a subpoena, the commission said that both the chair and vice chair had to agree, or the majority of the committee had to agree. So it wasn't as if this commission was given kind of free rein to issue subpoenas to anyone. This was a bipartisan commission, 5 and 5 from each side, with the House and Senate leaders able to pick who sits on this committee. But this really shows kind of the politics underlying all of this, even months after the attack and, again, ahead of those midterms.
Caitlin Huey-Burns on Capitol Hill, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.